Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so it's been a long time coming, and I'm glad I'm finally sitting down to do this. I know I promised everyone, not everyone, those that messaged me on my DMs and those that sent me messages that I'm going to sit down and do a video of giving birth in Canada. So this is the video, and it's going to take not just one part. I would try to do one, two, maybe three parts. So the first part today, I'm going to be talking about the visa processes, and I think I'll add to this part the questions that you'll be asked, that I was asked at point of entry. So for everyone, it differs. All right, so stick with me. I remember the roller coaster of emotion on and how grateful I was knowing that this was just divine and supernatural. That's almost 37 weeks, and I remember how I felt when it looked really real and I was on my way to Canada. I remember how grateful and how I knew that the hand of God was totally on this. Let me take you back to the beginning. In 2022, we wanted to make a trip as a family. My husband was nominated community, and we're supposed to make a trip out of the country. And so we started planning the processes, and we got a passport for our son. And then few weeks to when we realized that the trip was going to happen, we found out that we didn't know this. That's why I am also saying this when you're coming across my video. So before you can leave the country, you must have at least more than 6 months validity on your visa, on your passport. I mean, for us, our passport was going to expire that December, and we didn't know that you must have at least 6 months validity. So we had to now start processing our own passport, myself and my husband, and this took a lot. Like, it took a lot from me mentally, financially. It took a lot from us, and emotionally too, because we were supposed to go with a group and time was already taken. We didn't have time. And the person that, so let me just say that it took a lot from us. We had to travel some 6 hours distance at some point because they told us that was where it's going to be done fast. And I was pregnant then. I think the first stage, the first few weeks, I didn't even know that I was pregnant. So I was tired. Like, it seems like this is not going to happen. But then I didn't know that God was planning for something ahead, right? Yes, we were. I had given up on traveling out of the country because I felt like at every point in time when I want to leave the country, there's something that always comes up that doesn't make it work. Because, okay, for instance, in 2018, before I got married, I was selected by Commonwealth. A friend of mine nominated me. And so I was given an invite to come to Canada in 2018 for this conference. I applied then and I was rejected. I felt like, okay, that was an opportunity, and this one now is coming and it's looking like it's not going to happen. I just gave up and said, whatever and whatever. Like, this was supposed to be easy. It was supposed to be easy. We are going with a group. Fast forward to, I think, December 2022. Yes, our friend reached out to us that has been in Canada for a while. Our family friend now reached out to us and said that we can come around, he can send us an inventory and all that. At that point, we didn't even know we were pregnant then. So fast forward to some months later, I think he reached out again and we were like, my passport isn't ready. So our passport is not ready, so, and all that. After a while, we started the process of the passport. We started working on it again, and my son's own was sent in. My husband's own was sent in. It was now my for me to get my own passport, and then we got stuck again, and we found out that my name is spelled Wumi, W with an M, and they made a mistake without putting the hair. You can imagine that simple mistake delayed my passport for another month. What? And I was like, this is another opportunity. So I called the person that was in charge of it then and I said, you made us to lose money. You made me to be emotionally stressed. Financially, we have been stressed. Now another opportunity is about to show up. Why? So at that point, something came to my mind that when something big is about to come, offenses will come. And if you give in to those offenses, the devil will bring offenses your way. And if you give in to the offenses, you might actually lose what you are supposed to get from what is about to come your way. The encounter, the divine, the testimony. And so at that point, I was hungry. I wanted to pour out my hunger in a way that the person won't. But then I paused. I remembered, Umi, you can't give in to offenses. You can't give in to this. And so I kept calm. And the last thing I did was just to put it all in God's hands. God, just have your way. You had to pay another money for that. I started the process all over again. I think 2 months later or so, my passport came in. And immediately it came in, our travel consultant, who is also our family friend, had also prayed with me concerning it that my passport should come in. Then we started the process. So we applied. I have to say that in 2021, I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw this birth tourism people that help you with giving birth abroad. And in 2021, we we're already pregnant with our son. No, in 2020, I reached out to them, and we know that we're going to give birth to our son in 2021. I'd always wanted to give birth to my children out of the country, just to give them that other privileges and like a dual citizenship. And even before I got married, I had always had this in mind as a single lady. And it was always in my vision board every year. 2018, when I got married, it was in my vision board. 2019, before God now gave us a baby in before we got pregnant in 2020. So it was in my vision board. So 2021, we had applied for a visa, a Canada visa. Because of the heavy request during COVID, there wasn't people doing work and all that. And so there was a lot of applications. Okay, so this was the point I realized that a almost 10 minute video that I had recorded was not did not record. Like it didn't record. Oh, wow. Um so I was trying to test my appliances here to know what was wrong and everything. So I realized that my video just didn't record. So I'm just going to add voice notes to um the parts that didn't record. All right. All right. So we then applied. We applied in March. We started the processes. Our friend sent us an invite. So the application we applied for the visa was a tourist visa, and that was it. So we put up our document. Our travel consultant helped out with some certain things and information that we need to put in and all that. So we started working on it, and our friend was also monitoring it from where it was checking. We're always checking the portal. So we applied in March. We got stuck at some points, left it for about 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Eventually, we picked it up again and submitted in April. So after that April, the wait now started because my EDD was July, and meaning that I was supposed to get the visa in very soon so that I can leave on time, because I've heard cases whereby if you go heavily pregnant, all the sort of stories that it might not allow you in and all kind of things. So we were waiting. That waiting period was intense. Okay, so I was saying there was a lot of praying, a lot of I couldn't fast because I was pregnant, but there was a lot of praying and there was a lot of thanksgiving. I remember so many nights that I would wake up 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m. to just pray. Started bursting into thanksgiving every night. I remember the song was my companion then. Uh Ọba mi kò ṣeun tí o, kò ṣeun tí, ọba mi kò ṣeun tí o, kò ṣeun tí. That was my song every now and then. Every now, sometimes I will switch to spirit of prophecy and I'll start dancing alone in the room, singing at the middle of the night. Eventually, God gave me a word. Yes, He told me that I should mark May 21 in my calendar. This is real. God is real. And put it there, visa approved. And that was it. So I just put there and I was assured that God had done it. If there's anything, the beauty of hearing from God is amazing. a day down, and every day I remember that almost every day, like every day, like literally I used to check our mail. I'd like to say that Canada loves documents. In fact, we put a lot of documents together, a document of our assets, document of our, in fact, I put all of those things together and make that application. So fast forward to May 21, my alarm woke me up. I had set the alarm for 12 a.m. I didn't even know it was 12. I thought it was 12 p.m. I had set it for. I set the alarm for 12 a.m. Remember I told you God said I should mark that day down. So it woke me up and I checked why is my alarm waking me up, and I saw that visa approved. Okay. The next thing I did was to enter a library. So I checked the mail and I saw that we had gotten a mail on the 17th of May, but for some reason I had not checked for days because I was so busy. And it said a message about application is waiting for you. But by the time I checked the application, by the time I checked the mail, it said your application was withdrawn. What? I went to Google, I started Googling quite a number of things. Why would they withdraw our application? What does it mean for application to be withdrawn? Eventually, so I went back to the mail to just get clarification. My heart was beating, like I didn't know what to think. What is happening? It was withdrawn. So I went back to the mail and I saw that okay, they said a an update will be sent to you or so. So they told us to. So apparently they withdrew our 2021 application. Remember I told you that we applied in 2021 and we also applied in 2023 again. So they withdrew. What happened was they withdrew our 2021 application and they told us to refer back to 2023. How God did it, I don't know. Maybe the 2021 application pushed up the 2023 application. For some reasons, they said we should just go to 2023 application. About the time I went there, this was what I saw. I'm having goosebumps saying this. God is amazing. He's indeed super it is indeed beautiful to serve God. So when I opened it and I saw what was there, wow, I just started crying and saying, "Thank you, God." What you are the fact that they approve it, I was grateful for that. But the fact that God spoke to me months before that time, that May 21, go and check, make sure that you check this, and everything just like happened, came into, and I was standing in the testimony of it. I just kept thanking God, and and that song kept coming to my mouth again. Kò ṣeun tì, Ọba mi kò ṣeun tì. Like God is also. I woke my husband up and I told him they've answered us. Finally! Oh my God! He was happy. We hugged. We thanked God. We praised for a while, and then he went back to sleep. I couldn't sleep. My people, I could not sleep. I just kept praising. I rolled on the floor. See, it's not even about for some people, approval of visa is easy. You just submit their passport, they approve them. They flow to plenty countries. For me, it was a miracle. Oh, I know what I'm saying. It was a miracle, and indeed, because God showed Himself, He told us that this one, my hand is on this and I want to take charge of. Send you that, just know that at least 99% or 98% that your visa has been approved. So you just need to send your passport to them so that they can stamp it. I remember that morning we just went straight up to UPS looking for a branch that can send it to them that day, because we were looked for a courier service, and eventually we sent it through DHL to them, paid for a two-way courier so that they will send it back to us when they have eventually stamped the passport. It was sent that day. I mean, we did everything that day. There was no wasting of time, because again, we had heard that it takes about maybe 30 working days before they will respond to you. I said no, not in my case. My God is a God of speed, and He's going to grant me speed, because I don't have that time, right? This is May, and baby is supposed to be due in July, and I knew that the baby could come in June, because my first two, I took in with both of them at the same period, like October. You must have watched my story, I took in October, and the EDD was July, also July 14 for my first child. It came in June. This same child took in October, July 11 was his EDD. I knew it was going to come in June. My mind was just telling me it would come in June. So look, 17, they responded to us. We saw the May 21 and 21 stroke 22 because it was already midnight, right? And we responded to that mail. We sent all the requests, the document they asked us, which was our passport, and we paid for a two-way courier to bring it back, and then letter of consent, and then the letter they attached to the mail, the approval letter. You have to print it and put it in the envelope, to the letter that says that you should bring your passport. So we printed all that, made photocopies for our own copies, and we sent them in a single envelope, since we applied together. So, and then we sent this to them May 23rd, and I started waiting and waiting. You need to see me every day. I'll go to my mail and check. I'll go to our mail, check, has it gone there? And they were sending updates back to back. There were lots of public holiday during the period during that period too. And during public holiday, they don't work. So during public holidays, I won't get mail again. But they were sending mail. This has arrived at, I arrived at. I made researches. I did okay. So when they send you, I Google things like, after you have gotten a mail that you should send your passport, what does it mean? What is the next step? How long does it take? Lord, I just kept checking, and finally, at exactly, I'll check and I'll put the period there. As exactly that day it came. I remember I was in the office when they said that I had a mail. That was first thing I first did. And this meant that ọwọ́ Olúwa ń bẹ lórí ayé mi, ó ń gbé mi fò síbi re, ó ń gbé mi sáré. When you have waited for something, when you have prayed for something for years, like I said, when I was single, I'd always been praying for this. They used to say that you had to have travel history before they can grant you a Canada or US, before they can give you a visa. I don't have one international travel history. Nothing. Just local travels. And that was one of the things that was scary. Like, you have to just break that passport, go to this one, that one. That was why we were trying to go to another country that in 2022 that it didn't work. My passport did not come on time. Our passport didn't come on time. You know when you hold what you have been waiting and praying for, and you're like, this couldn't have been me. This is God. The waiting room might be tough. The waiting room might be difficult. It might be draining. But it is worth it. It is totally worth it. So we had to renew my visa, my passport, because this was what God wanted to do. Because if we had submitted a passport that was 1 year, maybe they would have just given us 1 year or 6 months, single entry, but multiple entry. So immediately I got home. My husband discouraged, and I also want to thank God for provision. You see what God has done? When his hand is in something, he does it. It does it totally. Like, when he has started something, he knows how to complete it. He's a finisher. And I thank God for provision. Immediately we booked my ticket. I left Nigeria Wednesday, 14th of, is it 14 now? Yeah, 14th of June 2023. I landed in Canada 15th of June 2023, and 2 days later, so on the 17th of June 2023, I gave birth to our son. If I had delayed, that's why I said, so now to the point of So some people have asked me these questions, that what questions were you asked at the point of entry? So the thing about Canada is, you won't do interview when they want to approve your visa, unlike US that you would have to go for an interview and they would decide there and then if they are going to give it to you or not. For Canada, you just need to submit good documents and be truthful. Canada loves truth. Be sincere, right? But then, when you are entering the country, at the point of entry, they will ask you certain questions. You will meet with an immigration officer, right? And for pregnant women, that you have favor with the person you're going to meet. I think that was another prayer I prayed. God, grant me favor. You that have started this, please finish it. You are a finisher, the beginning and the end. See to the end of this and let it be a success. Because I've heard stories that people were returned back at the point of entry, that they don't like pregnant women coming to the country and all. But let me say this, that it is not illegal to come to Canada and give birth. It is actually in their website that you can actually apply for birth tourism, that you want to come and give birth in the country. And if with their own just jurisdiction, they can decide to give you, right? So now to the question. So I got to Canada 15th of June 2023, and these were the questions I was asked by the immigration officer. My travel vlog, my packing, and then my travel vlog is on my videos, and you can go and watch that to also help you to plan how to pack, especially if you're a pregnant woman. And also, I know you get insight from it. Documented it so that I don't forget. So when they saw that I was really pregnant, I was really big. My video is there. I was already heavy. So for some people, they might not ask you any question. For some, like I said, it depends. What's your purpose of coming to Canada? So I told that to visit and to give birth. So the thing is, you have to just be sincere with them, because I was already pregnant and heavy. They could see that, yeah, this woman is heavy. So obviously, they knew that, yes, I'm probably coming here to give birth. So I had to state it from the beginning. It helped me. So she said, "Who is funding your delivery?" I said, "Me and my husband." So she checked my documents for proof of funds. And then the question she asked was, "What if complication arises? What will you do?" In my mind, I was like, "My Jesus, my complication will not happen in Jesus' name." Because they understand that giving birth, if you're not a citizen or you're not a PR, is not free here. It is out of pocket and it can be very expensive, right? I'm going to do another video where I'll talk about the finances. That's the part two of this. It's going to be, I don't want this to be too long. It will be the finances, the breakdown, and then the documentation after. Like after you have given birth, what you need to start applying for, the documentation you will need to get, and all that for your child. So, what if complication arises? What will you do? I told her that we could afford it. That it was in the document that I'm a director. My husband is the owner of the company. That I am also, I also own an interior design company. She said, okay. So how long have you known your friend that invited you, and is he coming to pick you? So these people, I think that they are very smart. They are psychologists. I feel that they put psychologists there, because I've heard stories of people, even one or two persons that told me the questions they asked them at the point of entry, right? And most times, sometimes they like to ask pregnant women questions. They want to know that you're capable of paying for the delivery, that you don't give birth and run away, because I let some people do that. So she asked me that how long have I known the person that invited us, and I told her that we've known him for years, that him and my, so we just started, it became a gist, kind of like she was asking me questions, I was gisting with her, talking to her. Was I tense? Yes, I was, but inside my heart I was just speaking in tongues. Nibra tonde kashataria. I was just speaking in tongues right there, because I knew that you people cannot send me back home. I have come here, I have get here, I will enter this country. Yeah, so it just became a gist. I was calm, right? And I guess they could sense that if you are tensed, or if you're not confident, they can tell. So I was calm and I just started to ask her questions. Then she now said that, is he coming to pick you up? I said yes, he's actually on his way now. He has sent me a message that he's on his way. She asked for his name. I told her. She checked my invite and saw that, yeah, it's the name. The next thing she said was, Your application says you'll be coming with your husband and family. Why are they not here? So I told her that at that point I was traveling alone, that we decided that I should go ahead first. That was what I told her, that I should go first. And my Tina asked her, what about your son? Where is he and your husband? I said, my son is back home in Nigeria. She said, who is taking care of him? I said, my mom is home, our housekeeper is home. His dad is even at home too, and all that. So she said, okay. So why do you want to give birth in Canada? That was the next question she asked me. I said to give our son the benefits that comes with being a Canadian, like good health care, education, and all that. Then she now said, okay, so you intend to relocate to Canada after your son is born? I said, I don't know yet. She could tell that, well, you people, I love my Nigeria. But seriously, I was just, that was the said truth, because at that point I didn't even, I don't know. I just told her, I don't know. So then the next thing was told, she now said, and I told her that I'm actually going back home with him after I give birth to him. I don't know, maybe the nearest future. I don't know. Canada might be in the picture. That was what I told her. Then she now said, then the last question she asked me was, you applied you applied in 2018 and wasn't given a visa. Why was that? Now, I also need to explain that if you have applied before, know the reason, because they'll give you a reason. I remember in 2018 when they denied me visa, then they gave me a letter stating the reasons why they were denying me the visa. So I didn't even study. I can't find the letter till today. When I was reapplying, I went to look for it. I can't find it. But I remember that I read it then, and it's talking to me. So I told her then that, yeah, Canada thought I wouldn't go back because I don't have a strong tie back home in Nigeria. They always want to know that you have a tie back home. So she said, okay. And then said, welcome to Canada, and told me to go this way. And that was it. So that was the questions that was asked at the point of entry.